You're welcome to LuvBay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. My name is DJ TyB, the place to be, and I'm here with my co-host, the host of the program, Petraa. Miss G, how you doing?
I'm great, TyB. How are you?
Who wants to know? I'm good.
Everybody wants to know.
Yeah, we miss Ron today, though. He wanted to be on the show today because it's a packed program that we're going to be having a lot of conversation. Yeah, lots of conversation with respect to this beautiful festival. Well, I will hand it over to you, Miss G.
Awesome. Thank you, TyB. Welcome, LuvBay family. Welcome for tuning in to Highway 6 to Africa. It's your girl, Petraa, joined with the wonderful TyB. And so how's your week been, TyB?
It's been so good, so great. There's so many festivals, in town. And, today is Jack First. Jack First starts today. I mean, it started last night with a very great performance by Valiant, as I understand. And today is Vaughn, Torres Riley, and Agent,
Vasco, yeah, exactly.
So today, so it's going to be good. And tomorrow, the same trio are going to be performing there. So, we hope for the best. We hope that everything goes smoothly because we've been having a spate of shootings and violence and all these kind of stuff in festivals because, it's an open season for these young folks who do not have, who don't attach life and, fun, who don't detach fun and violence out of the realm of things. So we hope things go so great this time around. Yeah.
Exactly.
So far, so good.
Yeah, no, for sure. Jerk Fest is always a good time. It's definitely something you want to go out there with your family, and if you're a fan of the whole jerk style of cuisine, you can definitely go out there and try all different kind of jerk flavored food, from jerk chicken to all kind of things that are going to jerk at the Jerk Fest. So,
That's right.
Definitely enjoy. I don't eat meat, so for me, I'll be looking for some jerk vegetables, some jerk tofu. So.
Oh, you are a vegetarian? Yeah.
Well, pescatarian. I eat fish,
Yeah, that's right. I remember. Well, it's good. It's good. What can I say? It's good. What's for us, and it's good for you. It's good for me as well. But you know what? The world goes around. There's so many different kind of stuff that we've got a lot of people lined up to be, to come and listen to this program. That's so well. It's up to you.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. So just to let people know, if they want to head down, Jerk Fest will be at 156 Centennial Park Road in Etobicoke. So people can head down there with their families. It's a great event for the full weekend. So they're going to have like a kids zone there, live food demonstrations, as well as the artists that TyB mentioned as well. So yeah, definitely an event that you want to check out.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. But sometimes I have my back problems, but I'll be listening to the music, and tonight I would like to also get listeners around that. We are going to be it will be the third series of our program, Saturday Night Love. Yes, Saturday Night Love, where we feature or we play music from 70s, the 80s, R&B from 70s, 80s, 90s, right? Man, it's been a great success. So you know what? You can be listening to us anywhere you can go. So download our apps on Google Play and Apple Store. Take us with you anywhere you would and you may want to go. We've got a lot of people from around the globe coming to listen to it. I think they're going to be booking their tickets to Barbados. That's where the action is going to be. That is where the action is going to be. Barbados. Then we'll have Joel to come and give us an insight into it. So, you know what? I turn it over to you.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, there's going to be tons of action happening in Barbados over the next couple of days coming up, and that's going to be because of CARIFESTA. So CARIFESTA is going to be happening in Barbados this year. It's going to be super exciting, and we have the opportunity to speak with a wonderful Jewel Forde that's going to be working with CARIFESTA. So definitely a pleasure to have her here.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, hi, Julie.
CARIFESTA. Oh, CARIFESTA in Barbados. CARIFESTA. We gather as one, united Caribbean. We join hands in one big cultural explosion. To the heartbeat of the drum, our rhythm in the sun. With pride and passion, time for celebration. Let's show the world boundless creativity. Let's show the world the beauty of our artistry. Let's show our roots, Caribbean roots. Our roots, Caribbean roots. Let's show our roots, Caribbean roots. Roots, Caribbean roots. Oh, 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 CARIFESTA.
I love that. I love that.
It's ready.
Amazing. Welcome, Jewel. How are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
Amazing.
Amazing. Great. So I'm so happy to be, meeting you right here again on LuvBay Radio. Yes. Yeah, Petraa.
Awesome. And Jewel, can you just share with our listeners exactly? Just share a little bit about who you are, to our listeners all over the world, and you're connecting with CARIFESTA.
Well, I come from a background of broadcasting, actually. I started in radio many, many moons ago, and I branched off into television, and now I've branched off into communications and media relations. So I am the local media relations and communications coordinator for CARIFESTA 15. This is the 15th iteration of the festival. It started officially in 1972, and it's held normally every other year. We've had a couple breaks. The last time we held it was in 2019, and it was held in Trinidad and Tobago. And then obviously we had the pandemic, so we took a break from it. So it's been 6 years. So Barbados is very happy to carry the flag and host CARIFESTA this year, 2025. It's going to be 10 amazing days of every discipline of the arts that you can imagine. Theater, music, dance, visual arts. We're going to have what we're calling our symposia, which are our academic presentations. But for the first time this year, we're doing something called big conversations. You know how we Caribbean people like to talk. So we're having big conversations, and those conversations are critical to how we move forward as a people, the challenges that we're facing, not only from global shocks, but also from climate change, etc., and looking at homegrown solutions that help us to not only recover, but to be resilient and sustainable in terms of these shocks. So we're going to be doing that as well. Of course, food is critical. So we're going to have culinary arts. Our tent, the CARIFESTA Village, is going to have a huge gourmet food court. Everything you can imagine. There's going to be, and several then other tents set up for decor and home decor, wellness, fashion shows, daily concerts, lunchtime concerts, nighttime concerts. They're going to be the icon nights where we pay homage to our artistic leaders, those who've left us and those who are still with us. We want them to get their flowers while they're still with us. You name it, is going to be happening at CARIFESTA. There's literary arts. We're having our poet laureates, so we're having conversations with them, launching of books. Listen, there's going to be let me take that back. There's going to be a lot of everything in 10 days.
Yeah, I love that. 10 days full of action-packed fun and just a celebration of Caribbean culture.
Yes, it is. We start on August 22nd and end on August the 31st. So 10 very packed days. I'm taking my vitamins because I know I'm going to be out to all.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to be out in the sun too, and that beautiful weather. Honestly. So yeah, I wanted to ask you, so I mean, it's amazing that you mentioned that CARIFESTA has been going on since the 70s, you know, and that Barbados has been chosen to host CARIFESTA for 2025. I wanted to ask, what was the significance, or why was Barbados chosen to hold CARIFESTA for this year?
I think we stepped up. They wanted to start it back. And I think the other country that was supposed to so it should have been in 2021, it should have been Antigua. But I think by the time we came around to being saying, okay, it's safe to hold it again. We haven't had it since 2019. I think they said we really can't manage it at this time. So Barbados stepped up. And our theme is Caribbean Roots, Global Excellence. And I think that is so relevant, because when you think about it, Caribbean culture touches the entire globe. We were just talking about jerk food, and everywhere you go, there is somebody who's doing jerk. They may not be doing the kind of authentic jerk we know, but people know when I say jerk chicken or jerk pork or jerk lamb or jerk burgers or jerk whatever, people know what jerk is.
Exactly.
They understand the concept of jerk. They know the flavor of it. One of the biggest pop stars and now mega mogul is Rihanna, and she's from Barbados, but she's on a global stage. Think about it. Let's go back. Bob Marley. Bob was on the global stage. So Caribbean culture and our thinking, how we approach life, our fashion, everything has touched the global stage. So that's why our theme is so important. Caribbean roots. You start in the Caribbean, but you are global excellence, or the level at which we perform is at a global level.
Awesome. And I really love that theme of global excellence, you know, like I just love the whole aspect. You hear the term Black excellence, you know, and you know, I mean, in this sense, you're going to be expressing and showing off a lot of Caribbean excellence, but I love the way that you push to the foreground, you know, the whole motto of global excellence. I love that, you know. So I wanted to ask you, like, what would you want people to take away from this experience of global excellence that is being showcased at CARIFESTA for this year?
I think apart from the artistic disciplines, I'd like people to take away from the festival just the legacy of it. Barbados held CARIFESTA 3 times in the past. We held it in 1981 and in 2017. And on each occasion, we built on the foundation for the arts. So the legacy was in 1981, coming out of that hosting of the festival. That's where we started our National Cultural Foundation, which is now critical to arts and culture and heritage in Barbados. In 2017, and at that time, we upgraded several schools so that schools could hold drama and concerts, etc. In 2017, we were more strategic in making sure that we put legislation in place that supports the arts. So you get things like the Barbados Cultural Industries Bill, which allows our artists to first and foremost have a directory of all of our artists. You can go on that directory and see everyone from visual artists, even administrators, etc. You can find whatever you're looking for in that directory. And then there are opportunities then for tax rebates for businesses that invest in the art. So we made sure that we put the infrastructure in place that allows our artists to not just survive, but to thrive. All of us on this call are of a vintage where we remember where you told your mother you wanted to sing or be a painter. She told you that you need to go look for a real job because they didn't see that. They didn't see the arts as a real job, as a career, as something that you could build a life on. They see the arts. They saw the arts as what we now call a side hustle. You had a real job and then you painted or sang in a hotel at the weekend. We're making sure that we put our artists center stage. What we call the orange economy is a critical plank in the platform of our economy. And I think every time we host CARIFESTA, we put more things in place to make sure that our artists can really thrive.
Yeah, I love that. That is really amazing because artists need the support.
Artists need the support. They really do. The level of difficulty you have as an artist, especially if you're now starting out, if you want to go to the bank to do the most basic things, set up a business, set up your business, put an account in place, borrow money to get a mortgage, have a home. You get so much more stress as an artist because you don't have the typical Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job with a weekly or
the stability.
paycheck. So it's the uncertainty of being an artist that gives you the challenge. So they really are putting more systems in place to allow our artists to thrive.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Thank you, Jill, for sharing. TyB?
Yeah, great starting the conversation right here. I would like to go back to the motive. What was the real reason for the establishment of this beautiful festival?
Well, let me take you back a little bit in terms of our. So the very first, and it wasn't even a Cari festival, but then it was just called the Caribbean Festival of Arts, took place in San Juan, Puerto Rico in 1952. And it inspired such a wave of regional celebration that subsequent artistic gatherings and festivals during what was then the West Indies Federation, which is what we now call CARICOM, was pivotal in Guyana in 1966 and in 1970. And it really fueled that vision for a Caribbean-wide festival. And it was supported by then Prime Minister Forbes Burnham out of Guyana. And it ended up in the first CARIFESTA in Guyana in 1972. And that established such a legacy of vibrant, artistic, and cultural exchange across the region. So when they set up CARICOM, they agreed then that they would put a section in the CARICOM Secretariat dedicated to holding this festival. So that's where you now have the festival every 2 years and a different country hosts it. And it brings together such a collaboration of Caribbean people from across the region. You see products and services at CARIFESTA that you wouldn't have an opportunity to see otherwise because you don't live in St. Kitts or you don't live in Grenada or St. Lucia. I've always felt that as Caribbean people, we should have the Caribbean equivalent of Etsy. So if I love Haitian coffee, I can go online, order my coffee, and have it delivered to me in Barbados. I don't have to fly to Haiti to get it. The last time I had Haitian coffee was when CARIFESTA was in Barbados in 2017.
Wow.
I'm up again this toss. I'm looking to stock up. So for me, I think it's that wonderful opportunity then you have all these wonderful collaborations of dance and music. Like for argument's sake, this year we have Lacado out of Jamaica. They're a phenomenal dance group. There's also the National Dance Theatre of Jamaica. And for the first time to show the global excellence and global reach of the festival, we have Alvin Ailey Dance Company coming to Barbados.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Nice.
To take it a little bit further, I think the first African Arts and Cultural Festival was, I think, somebody took it from CARIFESTA and then they did it in somewhere back then, and it was such a success, so beautiful, and it encompasses so many different levels of artistry. Take us into visual arts. I think you are going to be having visual artists and theater and dance and all these. Can you take us into all these spheres one at a time, please? Starting with visual arts. I know.
Starting with the visual arts. Well, we're going to have a series of exhibition. One is called The Masters. So you'll get the main artists from across the region. There's going to be a major artistic exhibition for that. But then you have the younger artists led by Akila Watts. And those exhibitions are more modern. There's going to be holograms and art projected onto the side of the Queen's Park Gallery, which is going to be the main space for the visual arts. So you get to see your art at a different level and more interactive. The main thing about CARIFESTA always are the workshops. So it's not just you come, you see the exhibition, but there are opportunities for workshops for people to be involved, for panel discussions, those kind of things. And that is what is critical to CARIFESTA. Let me go down my notes a little bit and tell you that we're also having, where is it? I had it just now. Where is it? And apart from the visual arts, let me go back a little it. We are doing things like, I think for this CARIFESTA, we're having several innovations. So on Thursday, August the 28th, we're having something called Wellness Day, which is an island-wide celebration of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. So whether you're a herbalist or a yogi or a healer or a therapist or simply a curious visitor, Wellness Day has something for you, and it harks back to that ancestral wisdom. So I know when I was ill, when I was much younger, I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandmother didn't go to the pharmacy. I got coconut oil put on top of my head, and my rub with candle grease.
Yeah, those are the remedies.
So we have our own homegrown remedies. And sometimes, you go to the pharmacy, you buy your modern FDA drugs, but then you still come back to those homegrown remedies, because there's a warmth and fuzziness you feel when you rub your chest with candle grease. You feel like, yeah, Granny here, she's here with me.
Exactly.
So there's that. We're having an island-wide wellness tour.
Joanne, hold your thought a little bit. I think I'm so interested in it with respect to that herbal thing, the mental health herbal thing, because today, if you go on YouTube, what have you, it tell you these herbs work, that herb works. And in the Caribbean, there are so many different countries. So I think it will be very interesting for people from various parts of the Caribbean to come together and say, okay, these trees that, in my country, this is how. So I think we are creating an era or an area where we would depend more on what we have on the land as opposed to what Big Pharma would tell us.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, every now and again, you see them come up on social media where all of a sudden now bay leaf. And all of us know Granny's drinking bay leaf tea. Suddenly bay leaf is a big thing. Soursop. Suddenly soursop leaf in tea, and the qualities in the soursop now are being studied for their medicinal purposes. So we were right all along. We were right all along. We allowed them to come and tell us that our homemade remedies weren't good enough. They didn't have the kind of rigorous testing of the FDA, and therefore they weren't good enough. But now we're coming back to those same remedies. There's several people here in Barbados making teas. There's one called Heritage Tea. So it has echinacea and mint, etc. For if you have a bad cold, that works wonders in terms of moving the mucus off your chest. And so there are people now who are actually making those teas and packaging them so you can buy it in a regular in a packaging like Lipton's or Typhoon, and they work. So it is amazing that we're coming back to where we began with our homegrown herbal remedies that always did so well for us.
So what day of the festival is that?
That is on Thursday, August the 28th, and it's going to be island-wide. So we have several vendors set up. There's also going to be a youth village within the Barbados Community College, and even they will have wellness and mental health sessions. And our young people too will also be having a small street market there where they too are going to showcase what soaps and skin creams and stuff, all made from local ingredients or regional ingredients. And then you have all these countries coming, and they too will bring their own homegrown remedies and herbs, etc., so that we have that wide selection of homegrown remedies from across the region and internationally, because we're also having delegations coming from Ghana, from and some of the other African nations as well. So
great. And then let's also with respect, I'm really interested in that the 28th, and we'll be honing that on that later. What about theater? I see on the platform we have theater. What can you tell us about theater?
Theater is really the platform for regional voices, and you're going to get everything from sharp satire to historical reflection. And this year's program, we have productions from across the region and the African continent. So one of the things we're having, and we're quite proud to have it, is Mansa Musa. It's a dramatic West African production. It's about Mansa Musa, who was a king of Ghana. And they said that he was so rich that he made a pilgrimage to Mecca and gave away money as he went, and he will still be
Yeah, he did.
ridiculously rich on his way back. I think Michael B. Jordan and Idris Elba are making a film on the life of Mansa Musa.
Oh, nice.
Yes, the thing with this particular is it is a real collaboration. I talked about that a little earlier, where we're doing the collaborations across not just the region, but the diaspora. So Mansa Musa is a huge production. It is over 120 cast and crew. Half of those people are coming from Ghana. The other half have been auditioned and are in rehearsals as we speak in Barbados. So you're having that transfer of knowledge where we now are learning from that major production. And one of the things it has taught us is that you have a production, yes, it's a theater production, but you can pull out the music of the theater production and have a concert based just on the music. You can pull out the costuming and have an art exhibition based on the costuming. You can, it is a multidiscipline production, and we are so happy that they have chosen to bring it to Barbados. We're having 10 to 1, which is a poetic exploration of the music of the Mighty Sparrow out of Trinidad.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to book your flight. You need to come to Barbados.
I know. Sing all the sweet things.
Yes.
That's right.
We have Dear Cafe, which is a moving solo piece that delves into memory and loss. And that comes out of, I believe, Nigeria. And then we have local ones, the one called Man Overboard, which is a tribute to the land ship, which is a very unique Barbadian production that started off back in the 1700s by a sailor, a captain of a ship, who missed going to sea. And therefore, he started a dance company. And all of the movements are like if you were on board a boat. So it talks about high tide and rough seas, etc., etc. And those are translated into dance movements. And then we have another local one called Millie Gone to Brazil. And this is actually quite a tragic story about this man who killed his wife. And when people asked him what had become of Millie, he said she'd gone to Brazil. So we are reenacting that as a theater production.
She was going where? Sorry, Jew, I didn't hear that, the last part.
Millie Gone to Brazil, and that comes from an old folk song with this man who killed his wife. But when people asked him what had become of Millie, we haven't seen her, he said that Millie had gone to Brazil. So we are reenacting that as a theater production. And then Irving Burgee, a Barbadian composer, and his influence on Caribbean musical theater, he also wrote the Barbados the music for the Barbados National Anthem. So, and that will be across venues like currently the Frank Culliman Hall, but then we are building a new venue called the National Performing Arts Center. So as you can see, theater is wrapped up in legacy because we're showcasing work that would have gone before, new work from our partners across the diaspora, and then the structures in place to support those works.
Awesome. Petraa?
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for sharing that. I love the fact that there's so much emphasis on art in this festival, because a lot of the times people associate festivals mainly with the music, you know, and that is great. But the fact that you have art being expressed in so many different mediums and in so many different ways, it's a really great way, you know, to really just allow people to get more involved in that art form, you know? So I just love that about CARIFESTA.
And not in just the visual and performing art. For us in the Caribbean, food is not just about eating. It's about storytelling. It's about sustainability and identity. And so our cultural program at the festival serves up a delicious journey across the Caribbean through shared dishes. So like on August the 24th, which is a Sunday, we have something called a Sunday food. And in the Caribbean, Sunday food is a special food. You cook more than you would a regular day in the week. So you get rice and peas, baked chicken or baked pork. There's still beef stew or lamb stew. You get coleslaw, you get potato salad, you get steamed vegetables, so it's always a big culinary effort. And then you have friends and family over. So we're doing that. And it's an homage to regional comfort food. There are going to be stewed meats. I mentioned rice and peas, bakes, and that's from in the morning, from breakfast right through the rest of the day. And then we're not forgetting that part of our resilience as a people is also our faith. Whether you believe in Orishas or you go to a regular Anglican church, there's still that Holy Spirit. So there's a sunrise service called Holy Train early on the Sunday morning, where you get an opportunity to give thanks and to and give and show gratitude for the faith and the opportunities in your life. Throughout the week, there are these country nights where different countries celebrate their heritage and they showcase different cuisines every night, and then across the gourmet food court, and then you get drinks and cooking traditions. So there's everything from jerk food to palau. I know you know palau, which is a rice and peas with vegetables. There's several meats in it. And then there's pepper pot from Guyana. So there's that as well. And then from Barbados, there's conquis, which is a meal, a corn meal. There's mashed sweet potato and pumpkin and raisins in it, and you put them in banana leaf and steam them. So you get almost like a cake-like consistency, but they are so delicious. And we only do them for Independence every November. So you're going to get an opportunity to taste food from across the region. And then our sweets, coconut, what we call sugar cake, which is made with sugar and coconut, tamarind balls. Forgive me for the noise. It started to rain here very heavily.
Oh, we can hear.
And then you have a series of workshop, flavors of our future, roots of the past. So we get our local chefs who are reinventing food. The climate kitchen competition, the lionfish is an invasive species that has come into our Caribbean waters and is pillaging our reefs. So every year we do a major lionfish competition where we encourage our fishermen to go out and catch the fish. The problem with that fish is that the spines are very poisonous. So there's a special way that you have to bone and scale the fish, but it is delicious. You can grill it, blacken it, whatever you do with it. And so we're having competitions, and then we're having an evening close with something called pot turned down on the Friday. Because in the Caribbean, as you know, nobody cooks on a Friday. We go out, we go find something to eat. In Barbados, on a Friday night, everybody's going to Oystins because we're going to grill fish, we're going to sing, we're going to dance.
Yeah. All that good stuff. I love that. Yeah, so much activities is happening, you know, and I love how that sounds, you know. I wanted to ask you as well. So some of the things that you mentioned, is that in relation to what's going to be happening during Grand Market? Because I would love for you to share with our listeners about Grand Market and the trade hub that's going to be happening at CARIFESTA.
I do not even know where to begin to tell you about the Grand Market. But before we get to the Grand Market, I want to tell you as well that there's going to be lots of fashion. So we're having daily fashion shows, the Bridgetown Edit. This is going to be part of our opening ceremony, daily runway shows at the Grand Market. We're having a series of workshops. So this a celebrity masterclass by Colin Carter, who is a well-known Hollywood stylist to Cardi B and Naomi Campbell. And then, of course, there's fashion education and sustainability. We're having film, Roots to Reels, Caribbean cinema on the rise. We're having over 150 short films. And then, of course, the Grand Market. What can I tell you about our Grand Market? Let me look for that. The Grand Market is going to be simply phenomenal because there's going to be a little of everything for everyone. Just look for that for a minute. Give me a minute. And what is going to have is, so it's going to be divided in 5. And then I mentioned that you're going to have your home decor, you're going to have your gourmet food court, there are going to be stages for concerts and short theater productions. There's going to be a live lab. Now, what a live lab is let's say you, Petraa, and TyB decide that you're going to do a collab. You, Petraa, the dancer, TyB, you bring the music. So you do collab. You two do this collab. You do this amazing performance, and at the end of it, it doesn't end there. You then are guided to our business center, so you get to copyright the work. Write up, do up the contract that shows how each person gets their share of the royalties. You know, you then go down to marketing and promotion. So how this is how we market and promote this new work, sales, how we're gonna get it out there on streaming platforms, how we're gonna organize reviews for it. So it's a whole approach to doing this collab. I'm really looking forward to it. It promises to be amazing.
Yeah. That's really amazing, and that is really needed, especially for creatives, artists especially.
Yeah,
because
and so many of our creatives are so talented, but they lack that kind of business essence that will make them successful, and be able to move their work from merely local or even regional to an international platform.
Yeah, most definitely. And why was that an important feature to have at CARIFESTA?
That was critical for what I talked about earlier. It was critical in terms of making sure that we, as part of our legacy, that we provide the platforms for our artists to not just survive, but thrive. And you can have the most beautiful voice in the world, but if you don't know the business end of your singing, the business end of music, it is unfortunate, but someone will take advantage of you. And even in the international world where there are so many people who understand the business, there's still so many hard stories of people who have been robbed, who the record company holds on to their masters, they can't get them back, they don't have access to their royalties, etc., etc. So it's going to be critical that our artists understand the business that they're in, that they understand where the pitfalls are, and understand how they need to protect themselves. That is critical. That's always been at the heart of CARIFESTA. It's not just about the arts. We could put on a festival where all you're doing is coming and dancing, enjoy yourself, and having something to eat. But at the heart, it is critical that you understand the business of the arts and make sure that you have enough information and education that you can protect yourself.
For sure. And is that just for local artists? I heard you mention. What about if it's artists that are traveling down to CARIFESTA, even just
they are.
Also...
We want them in the workshops. We want them in the panel discussions. And we've done it in such a way that even the workshops and the panel discussions are hybrid. So let's say, Petraa, you wanted to join in on a particular workshop, but unfortunately you can't make it to Barbados. We will make sure that we share all of the links so that you can just log in. You can participate in the workshop. You can ask questions, etc., etc. So it is really going to be hybrid, but critical, because we want people to be able to learn and benefit from these workshops.
Most definitely. I love that. Just shout outs to CARIFESTA for that. You know, among everything else, that is really a great feature that I haven't really heard of many other festivals doing. You know, so that's definitely a really great thing that you guys are doing, CARIFESTA. So I love that. I also wanted to ask you, so the fact that, because we know that CARIFESTA is held in different Caribbean countries, you know, but I wanted to ask you, what impact do you feel that CARIFESTA is going to have on the local Bayesian economy, it now being held in Barbados for this year?
Well, for starters, we're already seeing that, because CARIFESTA, we're coming straight out of crop over. So we just had crop over, and there was great economic opportunity there. But then one of the other things we're doing now is, so like right now we're expecting approximately 2,000, and this is just delegations and artists. This is not visitors. This is just delegations and artists. Over 2,000 people come into Barbados.
Oh, wow.
At last count, Trinidad was sending over 141 people. Those people need to be met at the airport. Transportation around the island to and from their accommodation. So I went to the training for drivers on Thursday. So we're training a whole cadre of drivers. And then those drivers are going to be uniformed. You're not coming in just any old ratty t-shirt. You're going to be uniformed.
Exactly.
Somebody has to make those polo shirts with the logo on it. You're having 3 or 4 of them. Somebody has to make those. You're going to be having lanyards around your neck with all of your information and QR code. Somebody has to manufacture those. Somebody who is a digital creator has to create that QR code. Somebody in the background has to be writing all the information. So you see how it's not just having a festival for having a festival's sake.
Exactly, yeah.
But there are economic opportunities. One of the things that Barbados did, which is an amazing thing, is that before we even started the festival, the first thing we did was an audit of our stagecraft. So an audit of sound, an audit of the people who do lighting. What are their skill sets? Where are the pitfalls? Where do they fall down? Where are the areas in which we need more skills? And then we brought in people to be able to do the training to make sure that we bring them up to international standards. So now there's work for all of those people. You're having concerts every night in several locations. Each one of those concerts needs lighting. Each one of those concerts needs sound and audio. Each one of those concerts need riggers to put up the stage. And one of the things we're doing is also bringing in, as I mentioned, sustainability and trying to be as environmentally smart as possible at the Grand Market. We're having an enormous solar farm to power the Grand Market. Somebody has to set it up. Somebody has to monitor it. All of that. So there's a huge economic impact. We're expecting anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 regional and international visitors to Barbados during the festival. Each of those people are going to stay roughly 4 to 6 nights. Let's say they spend US $150 per day. You see where I'm going with this, because they're doing they're doing transport, they're doing entertainment. We are expecting anywhere up north of $5 million US during the festival. That is our tourism revenue injection. The hotel occupancy rates, as it is now, people are complaining that they're having difficulty even being able to book a hotel because on our website, www.carifesta.net, if you go on it, there's a space that says accommodation, and you can book either a hotel, or if you're bringing down a team, you may want your team to stay together, you can book an Airbnb. So we're offering that option as well. And then, of course, we're making sure that the local airlines and transport services, they're already reporting a 25% rise in bookings in the weeks just surrounding the event. So you can see the economic impact, even if you are not directly involved in the festival, as in you're not at the Grand Market with a stall, but you own a restaurant, or you own a supermarket, or whatever. Yeah, you have your food distributors. You have a major gourmet food kitchen at the Grand Market. They're going to need ingredients. So you have those ingredients. It creates roughly 300 to 500 temporary jobs. And it's more than that now, because right now we have 400 volunteers, because you're going to need delegates. For each of your delegations, you're going to need a delegate liaison, somebody who is their first point of contact if they're having a problem, if they need a solution to something, somebody to make sure they get everywhere they need to be on time. All of that. I talked about the drivers. So it really does create up north of 500 temporary jobs. I mean, all of our artisans and vendors and cultural entrepreneurs benefit from the direct sales at the festival market and the events. The Grand Market had and I say had because we offered 350 stalls and all are sold out. And as of yesterday, I'm still getting emails and calls from people saying, "Are you sure you can squeeze me in?" And that's not just Canadians, that's for other artisans from across the region as well who want to be at the Grand Market. So you'll see that there's such an infusion, and that infusion of income helps livelihoods. This is not, I know when you talk about festivals, people think that all it is people dancing and enjoying themselves and drink and getting drunk, but they don't see the behind the scenes, the foundation of the festival, where people earn their living just working at festivals. When you think about Cropover, when you think about CARIFESTA, Barbados had on a series of events all year round. So we had something called Regathering, which is a riff off of Ghana's Year of the Return, where we encourage Barbadians and members of our diaspora to come home to the parish from which you were born. So we had 7 parishes, but City, Bridgetown will be the 12th. And all year long, in every month, we've had activities in every single one of those parishes. People have come home. One of the things we're doing is giving away T-shirts. Somebody had to make those T-shirts. Somebody had to brand them. So you start to see the economic impact of the festival, and the things are kind of rolling on. So it's like a rolling series of events, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So the economic impact is huge.
Yeah, and it's amazing that it ripples out, as you said. It's not just some of the main aspects of the festival, you know, that it's going to generate, you know, revenue. It's going to ripple out throughout the island, like you said, to people creating the lanyards, doing the graphics, you know. So that is going to have a really great impact on the island. So it's really it's a great thing.
And another thing, when you think about it, in small developing countries like Barbados, our mainstay is tourism. And there was a time many years ago where the thing that we lived off of, well, what we call the snowbirds, the Canadians and the British and the UK and the Americans who came down in between late December down to April during winter in their countries. We're now developing enough activities that tourists are coming to Barbados all year round, whether you are here for crop over, or you're here because we're doing the Food and Rum Festival in October. So you're here because you're a foodie and you want to try Barbadian cuisine, or you're here in November for our independence activities. And Barbados turns 60 or 60th anniversary of independence is next year. The Prime Minister has deemed that we're going to have a year of activities. So there's constant economic things that generate economic activity for everybody, not just big business, but small entrepreneurs as well.
I love that. Thank you, Jill. TyB? Oh, TyB,
you're muted.
This is CARIFESTA Plus, because there's a lot of things, like your description of it. There's a lot of things going on there. One aspect of it that catches my attention is about what the involvement of the youth. Can you focus on what the youth, the aspect of the youth will be, you know, highlighted in this at the CARIFESTA, please?
There is a youth village. It will be at the Barbados Community College, which is a secondary which is a tertiary institution. And there are going to be several things for young people, not just workshops and training, but opportunities for them to perform, etc. And then they're going to have a street market. So that market allows young people under the age of 30. Yeah, TyB, you and I are no longer classed up as young. The young people under the age of 30 to have a street market where they're providing their own goods and services just for them. They're going to be workshops, panel discussions for them as well. So that's something that we're really looking forward to. And we really want to thank one of our airlines, Into Caribbean, because they're offering a 15% discount for young people coming from across the region to attend the youth village of the festival. It's only 3 days. It's from the 25th to the 27th, but we're expecting nothing short of 350 young people coming to the youth village. And then there's going to be a major event called the Youth Jamboree, almost like a Scouts Jamboree, but like a youth jamboree. So we are going to be, Barbados is going to be full of people who are here just for these things.
Yes. Great stuff, because everything about the youth is very vital and to us. Well, let's talk about fashion. There's going to be a fashion show or something to that effect.
Yes, there is going to be a daily fashion show. Our opening ceremony on the 22nd of August. Part of that opening ceremony is going to be a live fashion show down Broad Street. Now, if anybody knows Barbados, you know that in Bridgetown, the city, Broad Street is our main street. So we're closing off Broad Street and we are having a fashion show for our opening ceremony. It's about expression, it's about entrepreneurship, and it's about ecological consciousness, because we're looking at sustainable fashion as well. We're having a fashion show every day and multiple workshops to highlight how Caribbean style can lead global fashion. So Isle Style, that's the name of the one that will be taking place in the opening ceremony, and we're having designers from across the region. They are going to reveal statement looks that blend heritage with high fashion. The Bridgetown Edit is our own showcase, placing local designers at the forefront of the Caribbean fashion identity. We're going to have a sustainable fashion show. daily runway shows at the Grand Market, and new collections will be launched by our Caribbean designers. And then, as I mentioned, there are workshops with people like Colin Carter. He's doing a celebrity masterclass. He's a stylist to Cardi B and Naomi Campbell. And then there's also Adrian Carew. I believe he's Barbadian, but I believe he lives in Canada, who's also a major stylist as well. So we are really making sure. That's where I keep talking about our theme of Caribbean roots but global excellence, because we see so many of these people across the globe and how they bring their Caribbean roots and their Caribbean sense of style and fashion and innovation to every area that they're in.
It's going to be, you are whetting my...
It's going to be epic, isn't it? It's going to be epic.
That's right. You are whetting my appetite, I know love is there, but at the same time, you know what, we are encouraging people, those of you out there who have not bought your tickets or who don't know too much about it, right now we are sharing the information to you. Whether you live on Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the information is right here. And we'll get to that for you to get more information with respect to how you can, head out to Barbados. Now let's talk about the Grand Market. I'm very, very interested in the Grand Market. Is it going to be every day?
Every day. The Grand Market officially starts on the 23rd of August, which will be the Saturday, and it will be every single day. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and ends at 10 o'clock at night. So it is all day. It is all day, and there's something to do. There are the film screenings. As I mentioned, there are the fashion shows. Let me look for what is my global program document, and I can tell you where everything is happening. So on Saturday at the Grand Market, for that alone, the CARIFESTA Village and Grand Market, we've got dance. That's the Create Live Lab. We've got the Panama Dancers Showcase. We've got music, the St. Leonard's Boys Steel Orchestra, which is Barbadian. We've got contemporary design and lifestyle, that's fashion. We've got a multidiscipline St. Lucia Masquerade, folk band and drummers. We've got a program of literary arts, something that is really interesting. It's called Blind Date with a Book, and that's where you're given a book and you spend some time reading it, and then you have like a book club type interaction afterwards. So there's something for everyone happening at the Grand Market every day, all day. And I promise you, TYB, that the minute we start putting out our flyers for the different disciplines, I'm going to make sure that LuvBay gets them so that you can share them with your listeners.
Amazing. Thank you.
We've spoken about so many different, we've touched on so many different aspects of the program. How about the super concerts? Because a lot of
super concerts. The super concerts.
That's right.
Where do I begin? The super concerts. The super concerts. Well, the first super concert is on Friday, the 22nd, and that super concert is Caribbean Soca. There's going to be something called the Nicholas Branker, who is an amazing Barbadian guitarist, composer, and a musical director. He worked with Roberta Flack, etc. So we're having a Caribbean Soca night, and that Caribbean Soca night is going to have something called the Nicholas Branker All-Star Caribbean Band. So you're going to have guitarists, a horn section, drums, keyboard from across the region. So that's going to be amazing. And then on Saturday night, we are going to have, no, we don't have one on Saturday night. On Sunday night, we are having another super concert. And that one is going to be, I'm here looking for it. There's music and spoken word on that night. It's Jamaica's Country Night. The other super concert is, bear with me, I'm trying to find information on the super concert in front of me. But we're also having one on Jazz and World Beats. We're having one on Kaiso that's having Baron and Gypsy and Short Shirt. So, that's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
We're also having a reggae night. for our final closing ceremony, which is going to be a really great fete to close off. We're having steel pulse. So TYP,
Oh, wow.
as you're talking to me, you should be on your laptop booking your flight.
That's right. I think it's going to be a super one. That's why I'm dubbing it as CARIFESTA Plus, because there's a lot of things that you don't normally come through or can't go out to see when we talk about festivals.
I find it. So this is what we're gonna have. We're gonna have each night features a dedicated show. So remember I talked about this Sunday and showcasing our faith. There's going to be a gospel jam at sunrise. There's going to be a jazz and world beat fusion. Rocky Dewani is coming. It's coming to the festival.
We interviewed Rocky.
Rocky Dewani is coming. There's a night of spooge music, which is the indigenous music to Barbados and folk. And then I mentioned also there's a Kaiso night. And there's also the reggae night. So it is going to be amazing. It really is. I think everybody who's coming to CARIFESTA is going to have the too much choice dilemma, because there's so much to pack into the 10 days.
So much. It just so sounds amazing.
You cannot do everything. Amazing. Cannot do everything.
Yeah.
And with the super
you gotta try.
Yeah, and the super concerts and the others, are they paid? Or
yes, they are. Yes, they are. Definitely they're paid. We're dealing with their management companies, etc. They are definitely paid.
Okay. So you got to be prepared to go and spend the moolah. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? You got to be ready to go and spend the moolah. And is there any other thing that you would like to share with our global listeners?
I want to tell our global listeners that you really want to be in Barbados for CARIFESTA. It is just going to be such an explosion of culture and art, but also of learning and immerse yourself in the culture of who we are as Caribbean. And then there is that intangible thing that happens at CARIFESTA, which is what we call the CARIFESTA connection. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I have a friend many moons ago in my youth, I used to model, and I have a friend who is a designer that I had not seen in I don't know how many years. And at CARIFESTA in 2017, I heard somebody say, "Oh my God, Jewel Forde, is that you?" And there she was. Wow. We have been ever since. She's coming to this CARIFESTA. I have another young lady who said to me that she got flagged down by two girls. I think they were or a boy and a girl who were Haitian. They were trying to get to a dance performance, a recital, and they couldn't get any transportation and they were late. And so she said, I didn't know these people. I just saw them at the side of the road. I put them in my car. I took them there. She said, they made effort for me to get in to see the recital. She said, we are still tight friends to this day.
Aww,
so
that's amazing.
That happens at CARIFESTA. Trust me, there is a connection that happens in CARIFESTA that you don't get anywhere else. You meet people that you haven't seen. There are people who tell you that they only see and talk to each other at CARIFESTA, but when they see each other, it is as though CARIFESTA was yesterday.
Exactly.
And so tight. So if I tell anything to our audience, is you have to experience it. Yes, I've given you a lot of information and it's a lot to take in, but it really is a all of soul experience, because you experience CARIFESTA at your soul. I promise you.
So Petraa, it's home.
Exactly. That's amazing. So do you want to ask you my last question? What message do you hope CARIFESTA will send to the world about the Caribbean's cultural contributions and the future of Caribbean art and culture?
I want to tell the world that the Caribbean is no longer that place you go with sun, sea, and sand. We are people. We are real people. We are battling with some of the problems of the world, but we have solutions. We are phenomenally innovative and creative, and you see that in aspects of your life that you don't even think of. I don't think many people know that one of the first people who developed what we now know as a search engine is a guy called Alan Emptage, who is a Barbadian.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I mean when I talk about Caribbean roots global excellence, because we are everything you can imagine. There is a Caribbean person, and we are at the heart of so many industries and disciplines across the world. Or what we're building more than anything else is legacy. CARIFESTA provides that space for intergenerational connection. So you have your elders with their deep experience in heritage and logistics, working with young people who are creating powerful blend of tradition and innovation. We're preserving our knowledge, we're preserving our heritage, and it is critical that through this model of CARIFESTA, we're building a blueprint for sustainable cultural management and strengthening Barbados' position as a festival destination for the future. The Guba Awards out of Ghana, I think, are coming to Barbados for the first time in November of this year. So Barbados is really positioning itself as the festival capital of the world.
I love that. Honestly, Barbados is doing some amazing things. Some amazing things are happening on the island. CARIFESTA is going to be epic. So anyone that's going down to CARIFESTA, make sure you look out for jewels,
Yeah, I'll be at the Grand Market. Yeah.
I know that team LuvBay will also be down there. So our producer Jam will be there as well. So we'll be representing in the house.
Yes.
And it's just been an amazing pleasure just to have you on the show, just sharing about CARIFESTA, about all the wonderful activities and the innovations, with the different types of art, the fashion, the food. Oh, you make me want to catch a flight.
You still can. There's still time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure for me to come on your show and talk about CARIFESTA and introduce those who have never heard about the festival or Barbados to what my island home has to offer or what the festival has to offer. When I tell you, there is something for every single person. There is something.
Amazing. And where can people get more information about CARIFESTA if they want to book
a flight? You can get more information on our website, www.carifesta, and that is CARIFESTA.net. www.carifesta.net. You'll see everything there. You will see on that, you'll see about CARIFESTA, and that page will give you the history of CARIFESTA. The CARIFESTA 15 page will also give you information about the Secretariat, a message from our Prime Minister, and then you get to meet our team, a message from the Festival Director, all of our artistic leads. They are on that page. There's a calendar with all of the events, and that's being updated, or event schedule that's being updated every day. And if you go on that, you will see all of the flyers for all of the events. That alone, there's registration. Well, our registration is closed now if you want to be at the festival in terms of having closed, but there is still an opportunity. You can see the registration. There's a media page. We've got all of our blog posts, photographs, etc., and a registration for media accreditation. And then there's a Barbados drop-down page that allows you to see flights, learn about Barbados, travel and accommodation, things to know, etc. So it really is, you got to go on our website and you will see everything there.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. And
to the heartbeat of the drum, our rhythm in the sun.
With pride and passion, time for celebration.
Let's show the world
boundless creativity.
Let's show the world
the beauty of our artistry.
Let's show our roots, Caribbean roots.
Our roots, Caribbean roots.
Let's show our roots, Caribbean roots.
Roots, Caribbean roots. Oh,
oh,
oh, CARIFESTA. Oh,
oh,
oh, CARIFESTA in Barbados.
Oh, CARIFESTA.
Awesome.
Oh.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Joel,
Thank you
for making time to come in here. You know what? We are promoting this festival 24/7, and we wish that with the experience that Barbados have given to this, I think it's going to be superb. So I encourage anybody out there, if you haven't gotten your tickets, go to your travel agent.
Go to your travel agent, and then you can also go on our website, www.carifesta.net, and get all your information.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you over there. And until then, folks, we'll see you in 20 what? What?
In 22nd of August.
That's right. In
TyB, you can't just come on the 22nd. You need to get to Barbados 2 days before, and then you need 2 days after just to recuperate from the festival.
That's right.
So in essence, you're in Barbados 2 weeks.
That's right.
Exactly.
To me. And folks, we'll see you in 7 days. On behalf of myself and Petraa, we say thank you for your time. Thank you for your space. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, LuvBay family.